said that he didn't feel that this guy was healthy enough with the sleep apnea problem to be involved with the fire police and the duties that we perform. Now the second guy, he actually backed down himself, and because he was in the middle of possibly going in for a bypass. He was waiting for the results. So he was holding up, and I got to give the guy credit for this. To me, it was a good decision or a good judgment call. See? I kind of look at these as working hand in hand. And he said to me at the meeting, he was coming to meetings. You know, we'd let you come to a meeting as a guest. You have no say, but you can sit there. You can talk with us. You know, you can discuss things with us. You can give us an idea or an opinion. You know, it's just that, you know, you really have no vote on what's going to get done or not. Even as a member in there on probation. But anyway, the last meeting, he says, instead of wasting the town's money going to the doctor, because it was a medical group that the town would pay for. It wasn't a town doctor, so to speak. So every time that somebody went there, it was going to cost the town money. So he says, instead of spending money on this, I am going to hold back. And at that point, wait until I see what's going on. It's a great idea. I appreciate it. Thank you. All right? Now that's, to me, is a stand-up guy. Not trying to get through it. Because the way he was just then, the doctor would probably have never noticed or known that he had a problem. But he stood up for it, which was good. And I told him, listen, once you find out, you're gonna have to reapply. We'll see where we are at the time. You're always welcome, depending on our head count at the time. But we'll definitely keep you in the list before we bring in anybody else. Once you know what's going on. The second guy with the sleep apnea, I felt bad for him. I said, I'm sorry, I understand, I really do. But I can't go against what the doctor says, and the chief isn't going to do it. It's just not a good judgment call. So, I may be looking at that wrong, but that's the way I look at it. If they say no, who are we? What I want to say, pass them, and I'll stand behind them on it, and then the next thing I know, there's a problem, and my ass is in a sling, well, I really don't want to put my ass in a sling for something as minor as you making it in or not. I'll stick up for somebody if I feel that it's right. As same as I'll go against you if I think you're wrong. So with that being said, we were out 2. So that gave us 4. And the ones that I have made 10. Now the ones that I had are eventually going to weed out. I know they are. They know that they're done with it. But they just don't want to lose the friendship. So I tell them, listen, you'll never be out. Even if you're not in, I can make you an associate member. The group will make you an associate member. You've been here 25, 26 years. You're always welcome to come to a meeting. You're welcome to come to our coffee breaks, which we never had coffee breaks before, up until when I took it over. I said, why aren't we meeting? All these guys were working together, but they never really hung out. And I don't mean you got to hang out and go over houses and play cards and all that kind of stuff, but it's good to get together over a cup of coffee once in a while, not just a Christmas dinner, that you can't bring your wives to, which I feel may be a little, but, I go with the crowd at that point. But we meet for coffee, a couple times a month at least. We'd meet up at McDonald's and sit up there and have coffee. So I said, you're always welcome. You know, there's always a seat for you. And he knows that. So anyway, it was going to get weeded down. I get a call from one of the deputy chiefs, who I consider a friend. I actually consider everybody in the department a friend. There's a few that I wouldn't consider as good as friends as the rest of them. There's just something about them that, you know, I need to know them more. You know, that's what it is. Before you start, you know, bringing people into your life, you want to know them more. You know, not that I'm dating them, but basically that's how it works. You know, you meet a girl before you say, "Will you marry me?" You got to get to know her first. You know what I mean? So he calls me up and he says, "You got a new member," and he was excited for us. You know, and I was excited to know that, okay, we got an extra member in. You know, good. This is good. You know, we're finally getting a team together so that we can, you know, really make a difference. Even though we were already making a difference, right? But we can really get things going, and it'll be a lot safer for us to be working out there. Now, another thing they used to do is they would never call or talk to one another if they're going on a call. So the new guys, you know, me included at the time, if there's a call going on, I don't know if I should be going there or not, because I don't understand what's going on with the radio just yet. Because they don't say that, you know, they'll say structure fire, you know, or sometimes they don't even say that, but it comes across. But they'll say, you know, car 1, car 5, car 6, engine this, engine that, this, that. You know, they call out just about every apparatus and thing. Well, then we got a problem. We got something going on. But is that something that we respond to? I never really knew. And if you ask them, well, can you give me a call? Oh, yeah. We never call. Well, that's wrong. So I'm telling my lieutenants, keep them in a group. If you're going, I want them to know you're going. They need training. They can't go on their own. We can't expect them to respond on their own unless they know we're there. They shouldn't respond on their own unless they know we're there. You know, like actually that's against the rule. You know, if you haven't taken the test by the state, or in this case the Connecticut Fire Police Association, that's a hands-on test, not an online test. At that point, you know, you can't operate. You can't be out there by yourself. Probation or not. That's it. Everybody has done it. So it's nothing special. We've always done it. So we can't expect them to just sit there and wait. We need to call them. So things are going to change. So that's starting to happen. Now, this new guy gets thrown into the ball, into the group, and he seems like a nice guy, but he makes it very difficult to trust him. And I was surprised that somebody said that this judgment thing is just a waste of time. He got voted out. He got voted out by every active member that was capable of voting. They all said that they would not trust working with this guy and they wouldn't want to work with him. So at that point, why have him? He's taken up a number from somebody that we might be able to use someplace else, a new person, somebody, right? Or nobody. But he's eating up equipment and maybe a liability at this point, who knows? So I said, well, before this voting out happened a couple of days ago, you know, emails have been going out to everybody, the same emails, the same things, and one of them was that nobody, including active members, including the E-board, first lieutenant, second lieutenant, myself as well, the chief said we are not to respond to any calls, none. responded to 3 of them. When I questioned him about it, he says, well, it wasn't there. I didn't have my lights on. Well, you know, to me that kind of just leaves an open book at this point to say, well, why? Why did you go at all? That's a judgment call on my part. That's a decision again made. If the chief tells us not to go there, he's telling us that for a reason, for our safety. He doesn't want us there. Now, he can't tell us what to do when we're not working. So that's the Constitution, which again I believe in. But does it still sound like a good judgment call to go anyway? And then to argue that you're not really there, you're a block away? Well, sometimes we're a block away to start with. Then I was told that, well, I couldn't get down there anyway because on the corner, now the fire was 2 houses down from the corner. On the corner, they had an apparatus, they had lines in the road and an ambulance blocking the road. So you did try to get there, you know? Because, well, I just happened to be in the neighborhood. So every time I asked him something, it was another reasoning why he was there. I said, Brian, I said, listen, I'm trying to work with you here, that's all. I'm just letting you know how people are going to look at this. You know, it's going to build a pattern. You know, and I'm trying to help you, dude, and that's just what I told him. And I've even done it with the emails, because every time I do something with anybody, it's always backed up with an email. If I send something out that everybody's going to get, everybody gets it. So everybody sees everybody's info. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody gets it. You know, so this happened 3 times. Well, this is building, you know, a rapport, a record. This is starting to build, you know, time after time after time. He's making bad judgment calls, and he just happens to be there. You know, well, I'm not going to babysit this guy and keep running around on every call. You know, at 1 o'clock in the morning or something, get out of bed and go, well, I better go check to see if this guy's there. You know, I mean, I shouldn't have to. I never had to. Nobody ever had to babysit their guys. You know, why should I have to start now? But meanwhile, it's eating at me because I'm worried about, is he there? Because if something happens, it's going to come back to me. Why was he there? So naturally, I got to build this case of some sort as to keep telling him. That's just part of it. And then he's going there when he shouldn't be there to start with because he hadn't taken the test yet. Well, I'm not working. My lights aren't on. They can't see me. I can't see them. Okay, Brian. Not a problem. Again, you know, I'm talking to that. Actually, I get more out of that. I can open the bottle and get something out of it. Something useful. But that's where it happens with this guy. And these are just some of them. Some of the cases. You know, I didn't get the email. Oh, I'm opening it. I'm opening the second one now. After the fact. Well, you didn't open an email coming from your captain that you got 2 weeks ago? Now? After? Oh, I have problems opening the emails because I have a problem with my arm. I have paralysis in my arm. I can't use my arm. I couldn't use the phone. Well, if you can't use your arm and you can't use the phone, how are you going to go out there and do traffic? Or pull something or move something? How are you going to put out your cones? All right? How are you going to help keep people back? Whatever it is you're doing, how are you going to do it? These are included. You know? So he just keeps hanging himself with these things, you know? So he got voted out. You know, for just tons and tons of poor judgment. You know, and it's not that one poor judgment, like the lights, for instance. I use that as poor judgment. He wasn't even a member yet. He was still in probation. It was his first meeting, which means he's only been in there for 2 weeks. He goes out and spends $2,000 for lights that he may not use. Now, would you do something like that? I wouldn't do that. Right? Especially when we told you the lights will be in next week. The lights that we're going to furnish you, which is basically all you need. Right? But and then he takes the word of the person selling him the lights on the law, naturally, he's just going to keep selling them if you're going to keep buying. And I mean, that's the only reason why I spent $2,000, I'm sure, because this guy kept selling them, you know. And the guy he's selling them to, I consider as a glory seeker or a wannabe. You know, that's the way he's becoming. You know, he wants 2 badges. For what reason? I don't know. There's no reason for it. Nobody's had 2 badges in 25 years, the way I understand it. You know. So anyway, he gets voted out, and now he's making a big stink out of it. The other day there was a little meeting, and somebody at the meeting, up at the table, the main table, said, these judgments, I don't see where they have anything to do with this. You know, I'm thinking about it. Now, I don't want to say anything to the guy up there because I consider him a friend, and I don't want it to get mixed up. So I said, listen, he was just building and building and building on it. He's building his judgment on his character and how he thinks. I says, but there's also proof. Well, I'm sure he's going to have excuses for it. Oh, I'm sure there are. There's always an excuse with him, which there is. You know, this excuse was he wasn't able to get to it and use his phone because he has paralysis and he can't use his arm. Well, according to the NFPA, according to what I was told, I have not read it yet, this is what I stated, it says in there that if you have these disabilities, you cannot do this. Now that came right from the Connecticut Fire Police Association, who gives the test for the state. They got to know it best, in my opinion. Oh, well, do you know exactly what it says? I said, no, I just told you. I haven't looked at it. I haven't found it. For me to get to it, I got to spend $45. You should have access to it. Right? I trust your judgment on looking it up and seeing what it says. Yeah. But I didn't trust. Not that I didn't trust. I couldn't understand why he wasn't looking at the judgment thing as anything that could be judged on. When in fact, every day, these people up there were constantly making judgment calls. Every fire, every scene that they responded to, they may call it a decision, but it's a judgment call. Same thing. If somebody gets hurt, it's because you're the one that made that decision. Or judgment call. Come on. So they have everything to do with it. So that's kind of the way I look at it. Yeah. Now, I can separate friends from duty. I have no problem doing that. You know, if somebody tells me to do something that I disagree with and there's an argument on it, I get voted out on it. If I got voted out of the fire police or whatever, fine. I knew you had to do what you had to do. Right? So, but doesn't mean that we still can't do what we used to do. And another thing is, if you got voted out of something unanimously, why would you even want to come back? And what's the big deal? It's not a paid job. Well, it's only a big deal as if you're interested in having that badge and that blue light. You know, that little power. Who was it? Lincoln, I think it was. I'm not positive, but I think it was Lincoln. If you really want to know a man's character, give him a little power. And I think that was Lincoln. Sounds like him anyway. And this is kind of what's happening. Give this person a little power, and everything changes, and he listens to nobody. That's where I was talking about that word, prideful. You know, being proud of what you've done and what you're doing at that point, you know.